Try that again, shall I? That's the Human Rights Young'un, and welcome back to the F1 podcast. I am joined by David.
I think you jumped the start there a little, folks.
I actually pressed the wrong button. But that's fine, I didn't. It was the end button, I forgot to mute the mic. It's fine.
He's not been doing this long, folks, so he'll get there eventually. He's only been doing it for, 8 years at this point?
What? Podcast?
Well, broadcasting.
2,727 days.
The fact you have that in memory, I don't know.
It isn't, it's on millimetric. Just like everyone else.
Help me.
So, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, F1 podcast, the Imola Grand Prix. It has an Italian name that I'm not even going to attempt to butcher.
Emilia, for fuck's sake. Emilia Romagna Enzo Dino Ferrari or something like that.
That's why I was just calling it the Imola Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's Imola, basically.
It's Ferrari's playground.
Should be nicknamed to Ferrari's unlucky playground.
Yeah, that's very true.
Same could be said about Monza as well later in the year. That's also one of their playgrounds. But, so, I'm guessing you didn't really catch practice or anything.
I didn't catch any practice due to the fact that it was sprint weekend.
Yeah.
I actually got to catch quali because he ran that late. I caught the quali because I managed to bring him sprint it home on Saturday.
No pun intended.
I actually didn't intend that, but thank you. Yeah, yes. And then I saw the race in between touring car races.
Practice was just, yeah, it was just a bit hit and miss.
Like I say, I can't comment because I never saw any news articles. I kind of 50-50 practice. I'll try and catch articles, but I'm not that bothered about watch.
Hopefully going to be able to, I'm wanting to catch Miami practice because I want to see how much bad that's going, whether that's just going to be an absolute shit show or not. That one I do want to catch, but with it being the time zone it is for Miami, it works in our favour, except the race.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, the race has been late, but it's the earlier start races that I just can't hack. Australia was the bastard.
That's what I was going to say, yeah. The late ones aren't too bad. It's the freaking 5 a.m.s there.
Yeah.
But then again, there's some parts of the world that half their year's races are at that kind of time.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, practice was just the usual practice, you know. A couple of mistakes here and there, just each team just trying to give it the best as they can. And Ferrari did look on, they looked on pretty good form. Did both Leclerc and Sainz within the practice. And, yeah. That just, even, let's move to qualifying. Even in quali, they looked...
It goes back to what I said last week, wasn't it? Last podcast. These cars look quite difficult to drive, a lot more so than previous years.
But they seem very unforgiving.
Yeah, now, of course, Imola is, an old-fashioned circuit, which means it in general is very forgiving. Very unforgiving in that it will just... There's no massive 2 miles of runoff area. It's, here's a gravel trap, here's a wall.
Yeah,
unless your name's K-Mag, at which point you can actually slide between the two of them, cause a red flag, but get yourself going again.
Yeah. I think they're a little bit fucking quick on the red flags this year.
They definitely are, aren't they? They definitely, which I can kind of get. I can kind of get why, but
I can get why, but that red flag should have been at least a yellow or double wave yellow until they knew exactly what the hell was happening with that car.
The problem with that is it takes them 5 minutes to in a session that's only got 8 minutes left.
Yeah, true.
And suddenly you've got a 2 minute. Yeah, you almost had that anyway, but at least stopping it gives him a chance to know where they are. And in K-Mac's case, it meant he could get back out on track.
Yeah. Unlike Bottas.
Well, so it was a great move, wasn't it? Just spin the wheels enough so it doesn't dig in, but keep it out the barrier.
Mm. Where Bottas beached it.
Yeah.
It was, what was it? Was it? It wasn't not Ravazza, was it? Or was it? No, it was Acqua Minerale. Everybody seemed to be buggering up at Acqua Minerale.
Yeah.
Why don't they just call it mineral water?
Because it's in Italian. It's got to sound Italiano. It's like Maserati for years. The Quattroporte sounds brilliant. It just means four door in Italian, but to us it sounds.
Or the Alfa Romeo Quadra, whatever.
Quadra.
Yeah.
Another one I would butcher the hell out of. I was not going to try.
Was it the Giulia or something like that?
Well, the Giulia and the Stelvio both have the hot variants.
One of them then. But it's yeah.
Back in the older days, they called it the cloverleaf, which was far easier to pronounce.
But it was just they just like there was you got like Ravazza and the Arianta chicanes and Acqua Minerale and all this lot, and it's like, why not just call it turn 1, turn 2, turn 3? Give us the simple analogy, not all these fancy poncy names.
No, I kind of like the tracks that still have named corners.
Silverstone.
Yeah, it's a throwback to good times.
But yeah, the conditions for qualifying were very like.
They were good. They were good till they weren't.
Yeah. I mean, it just. I was thinking when the rain was there, it was like, oh shit, are we gonna get another Spa?
I didn't think because the rain never came down that hard, did it? It was just.
No.
The trouble is, it was so on and off the track, sort of just dried enough, then it rained again.
Yeah, but the fact that it was only 13 degrees over in Italy.
Yeah, meant they were struggling to get it dry in the tyres, struggling to wake the tyres up.
Yeah, they were struggling, but yeah, Ferrari were on pace.
Ferrari were more than on pace. Let's be honest. I mean, especially qualifying until Sainz, made a little mistake.
He gone.
I was going to say, they were both looking. I think Ferrari 1-2 was looking very much on the cars. Now, I said running up to this, I expected them to turn it up to 11 because it was their home ground. The sponsors will have been there.
Yeah.
But obviously, kind of unravelled.
Well, I mean, it's just. I will say, Sainz is really having shit luck right now. He was on good form, and then.
Oh, I really feel sorry for the guy because it wasn't his fault. It wasn't. I'm
No.
not actually blaming Ricciardo. It was a sit, and I'm not blaming Bottas because Bottas hit afterwards. It was actually it was just bad luck. It was first corner.
Yeah.
Qualifying was just tyres a little bit cold and took a little too much curb.
Yeah,
the poor guy just seems to not be able to catch a break.
Especially after signing enough for 2 years. And so yeah, qualifying was just thinking, all right, well here we go. Leclerc on, Max. What was it? Max on pole first sprint, Leclerc and everything. I was thinking to myself, going into the sprint race, I was thinking, oh here we go, fucking Ferrari's just gonna, he's just gonna walk away with it.
And then they set off.
Yeah, Max didn't get a great start and got a bit swamped.
Yeah.
And it was just like, Yeah, and I thought, oh, here we go. Leclerc's in lead for the sprint. And
Yeah. I think the only thing we had was the confusion on whether the tyres were actually going to last, because
yeah.
sure it was tight.
Mm.
But
it was just, it was one of them, and it was just, it was just a case of everybody, like we say, going down to that first corner in the sprint race as well. It was just like, yeah, okay, might be a few incidents here, bit spicy, usually is, and yeah, I was just thinking, just during the race, it was just a case of, oh, Ferrari's just going to walk away with this. And then you start to see Verstappen reel him in. And it was the same with like Perez. Perez was just sort of plodding along as he does.
Perez, I actually voted for Perez for the Driver of the Day award. It was across the sprint race. I think his qualifying didn't go as well as it could have done, but he did what Perez does.
Yeah. Who got Driver of the Day during the race?
Max.
Why
he
not?
Said Max got the perfect weekend. He got quali pole, he got sprint race win, he got race win, Driver of the Day, and fastest lap.
I didn't realise he got Driver of the Day. Because for Driver of the Day, I actually voted Russell.
Not a bad shout.
Which might have come as a surprise.
Actually, I can fully see where you're thinking he's there.
It was between, for my vote for the Driver of the Day was going to be between Perez, Lando, and Russell. And in the end, I chose Russell because of how he is performing.
Especially in comparison to his teammate.
Yes. And he did well in the sprint, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The thing is, this is what we've been saying about George as well. This is what we've been saying. Because he's gone from because he went from basically the shitbox of a Williams to the kind of shitbox of a Merc. No wonder he is outdriving the car the way he is.
Oh yeah, it's 100%. He's right. He has in the past driven crap cars. Hamilton hasn't, or certainly not for a very long time. So I think he's just slightly better at sort of dragging a piece of crap round.
It's proved it. He's fourth in the driver's standings. Russell.
Yeah.
Now, because obviously Max and Perez have overtook him. He was second.
If I say he was second, I know. So he was.
So it proves it that George he's handling it. His interview techniques need to be worked on, though. He doesn't seem very open like he did at Williams.
I think he's just learning. Plus as well, I can imagine he was a little nervous here. Remember what happened last time he came to Imola?
Well, what you mean when Bottas and Russell when
he ended up in a Mercedes without actually driving it?
Yeah. But the weirdest thing was Bottas was
hunting him down.
It was like, but no, the sprint race was just like very uneventful until, like I say, Max was just getting in, Perez was getting in, and it was just. Because didn't Sainz finish fourth? Because was it Red Bull, Ferrari?
Yeah, it was. For the sprint race, I was going to say, no, he didn't finish the actual race. When you're thinking of the sprint here, aren't you?
Yeah, I was thinking the sprint.
Yeah, it was. I'm just looking it up on the F1 website, but I don't know where I'd look for a sprint race.
It'd be on the basically you'd have to go into schedule results.
Yeah, well,
I guess that's
yeah,
only
sorry.
a race. I'm trying to do that myself quickly. Race,
Result sprint has its own section.
race result, sprint.
Yeah. Max, Charles, Sergio, Carlos,
Yeah.
Lando, Danny, Valtteri, K-Mag. K-Mag got the last point.
Yeah.
Fernando, Mick in 10th.
Russell was 11th, actually. So, yeah, he did well.
11th and 14th for Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
The only non-finisher, of course, was Zhao. Yeah, of course he was.
What happened to Guan Yu? Oh, he got...
I don't...
Didn't he get pitched?
Oh, yeah, contact with somebody. Didn't even fair play to the other car. Survived it.
I think Latifi needs to get his ass in gear, if I'm honest.
There's a couple of drivers on the grid who kind of need to...
Well, Latifi's only on a 1-year deal.
Hmm.
This is Latifi's last season if he doesn't... I don't know if they'd bring it up.
I mean, if you comparison for the race, I mean, Albon finished 11th, so... Well, to be honest, if you're Williams, you bring somebody up from F2. Whoever wins the F2 championship next year, if they're not tied to a big team. Or the highest driver who isn't tied to one of the big teams.
I think it's, well, Daruvula.
Well, I mean, at the end of the season, Ed.
Yeah, but Daruvula is current defending for the second year running. Because I watch a bit of the... Going back to the sprint towards the... After the... I don't know if you watched any of the interviews.
Not really, no. I was
Yeah, I basically quickly turned my volume down. After it was either qualifying or the sprint race. I turned my volume down. Because guess who it was?
Go on.
Valsecchi. Davide Valsecchi.
Oh, yeah, I did see some of that, yeah.
I was like, what? What did you ask him? Fucking can't understand you. I mean, I'm not being racist, but he talks that fucking fast. You cannot understand him. Just Davide Valsecchi. And it's the same guy that's, you know, on the game, when you've done the F2.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, when they finish talking, afterward, it's him. That's who you hear. That is David Valsecchi, and you just can't understand him. Don't get me wrong, he's got that strong of an accent.
Mm.
I mean, it was nice, you know, it was nice that Charles did his interview in Italian, but then that's why he turned around and said in English as well.
Yeah.
Because it was a case of, well, none of the English fans are going to understand what fucking word you've said unless they know Italian.
But you can understand though, it's in Italy and that. To do it in Italian, you can drive for an Italian team.
Yeah, but...
Which you've got to say, if we're talking about like Ferrari doing well at the home race, feel sorry for AlphaTauri, it was their home race as well.
Yeah, it was as well.
They really didn't have a good weekend of it.
Did they? Shite. They did not have a good weekend at all. So, yeah, the sprint was just a sprint, and it was just...
To be honest with you, that could kind of describe the race as well. Just kind of...
Yeah.
It wasn't the thriller we were all hoping for, I think. But, you know, into the race, as I say, once again, Carlos's bad luck continued at the first corner.
Yeah, contact between...
him and Danny Rick hit him, basically. But like I said, I don't blame Danny Rick. Like I said, 'cause he was just his first corner.
But
And then Bottas went to the back of Danny Rick once.
Yeah, but that just couldn't be helped. I mean, you saw the replays. How the fuck did they see anything?
Oh, well, hey, we've done races in those kind
of...
Oh,
conditions. Yeah, I know.
Bad enough.
I know we have, but I know they've got the rain lights and I know they've got the brake lights, but even with the brake lights, the
running light, yeah.
The rain light and the energy recovery, flashy light things. Them
Yeah.
things, not the brake lights. There
was one team Ranier did run the rear light as a brake light. I remember only one team's ever done it.
Yeah, but then that got stopped. And it was just a case of
It was a case of waiting for the track to dry.
Yeah.
And then waiting for the DRS to be enabled.
I'll get on to that. It was just like, yeah, it was bad luck for Sainz and Danny Rick. Danny Rick was fucking lucky, and so was Bottas, to kind of get away unscathed.
To be fair, did you see Bottas' car afterwards? There was actually a massive chunk missing out of the front wing assembly.
Yeah.
Obviously not of the actual wing, it was of the nose cone, but there was a piece missing. You could see it afterwards.
Yeah.
But obviously didn't affect the car, or didn't affect it too badly, because
Clearly
it still
not.
seemed to run alright.
I kind of don't know what, to be honest, I don't know what McLaren played at. You know, they pitted Ricciardo.
They kind of hit the "we've got nothing to lose" point.
Yeah, but, I mean, he finished P18. They stuck
it
him
didn't
on
quite work.
No. They stuck him on hards.
I think what they were thinking was that the mediums were not going to last.
Mm.
And they were hoping by getting there early and getting the laps in, that by the time everybody else realised they needed to pit.
Yeah, he'd gained. But
it just didn't play out that
no,
way.
it didn't.
Plus, you had, and the front runners at the end, as you saw, did the swap to softs when they were going for the fastest lap battle.
Which didn't work for Leclerc at all. We'll get on to that one. But, yeah, I mean, Bottas, 5th position. Russell, 4th.
Yeah. Norris, 3rd.
Yeah.
Poor Norris still can't get his first win. He's freaking bridesmaid's position.
Oh, he's trying. I mean, just to make a reference back to, well, we shouldn't, but Sochi.
Well, to Sochi and also to Imola Monza last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, where the McLaren won too.
Yeah. Well, they basically give that to Ricciardo, didn't they?
Ricciardo was just the car in front, and they didn't follow favouritism, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't think it was particularly given to Ricciardo. It's just he didn't want
Lando to be seen as favourite, since Danny was a new boy.
Yeah. And the cars were right. Did no need to change it round, so they didn't.
But I do think, actually, Danny ended up being a little bit quicker than Lando towards the end.
What is this? Do you mean of Monza at this point?
Monza, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, obviously, he wasn't holding Danny. He wasn't holding Lando up, so.
No.
But yeah, Putin, he seems to be so close to winning, but just doesn't seem to be able to do that last little bit. I'm sure it'll come with time. The guy's got the talent, and McLaren seem to have a car this year.
Oh yeah, they do.
It's just, unfortunately, they're kind of always the case where they've got the car, assuming something happens to at least one of the big guys.
Because, obviously, it was... I'll get there in a minute. Jesus Christ. It's one of them moments.
It's his age, ladies and gentlemen, don't worry.
Screw you.
Anyway, coming back to Imola, just once again we're at the point where a Haas has scored points and a Merc finished 14th or 13th, sorry. Yeah, that's the year that we're in. Which, if I'd have said that to you this time last year that there'll be Haas scoring points,
oh yeah,
you'd have had me shipped off to the funny farm.
Yeah, especially because of the way Haas was last year. But like we said, we fully understand what Haas's decision from last year to this year, and it's worked for them. It's working for them, especially with bringing K-Magger back as well.
Oh yeah, as we say, give him credit. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
The guy's good in tricky conditions, which is sort of proven.
See, Norris likes them conditions as well.
Unless it's in Sochi.
Unless it's Spa. He'd have been on pole.
Oh yeah.
With Spa. Because he was on a blinder. He was trying, and he was trying and just unfortunate. Which is a similar thing. The way Norris had his accident in Spa was kind of similar to Imola, because these old school tracks, they don't have the grip around white lines.
Oh yeah.
A lot of them were getting I think it was, I can't remember which. You know that chicane? The absolute bastard of a chicane that...
the one that we don't like in the race as well.
Yeah. That was catching quite a lot of people out.
Oh yeah, we saw Perez, because it eventually caught Leclerc out badly. As I say badly, he got seriously lucky there.
Oh, yes, he did. He did. But, yeah, it was catching a lot of drivers out.
Oh, yeah. Which, to me, that's good. These are supposed to be the best of the best. Make it complicated.
Because even, like, when we saw people going off Aqua Minerale in qualifying, was because they touched the white line and the curb before trying to turn in, and that is what had caught the car out. It just didn't have the grip level down for just not enough there to keep the cars going.
You probably found once you were slightly offline, it was still a little bit damp as well, which didn't help.
Yeah, I mean, the F2 was very similar. F2, they were making mistakes at the exact same places, was like Aqua Minerale and that chicane.
Yeah. I mean, Leclerc's wasn't. Leclerc too much came on the inside.
Yeah, he hit Sassy's curb.
Yeah, he took too much curb. I think he hit the bend a little bit too fast.
He was pushing. He was pushing because he was trying to get...
Yeah.
He's trying to get Perez. That's what it was. He was pushing to try and get Perez towards the end.
They thought they could grab second off Perez, and the end ended up being seventh.
Six.
I've
still got the standing in front of me. Yeah, it's 6. Yuki finished in 7th. And, yeah, no. Like I said, it was very uneventful until there started to be this battle between Leclerc and all this lot. I mean, they didn't, if you notice, they didn't really focus on Leclerc, Max, Perez.
Because there wasn't a lot going on. They were trying to look further down the field where there was some squabbles and Lewis going backwards.
Like I said, they didn't concentrate. It was more like the midfield battles where you saw an absolute chunk come out of Alonso's car, which was caused by Mick Schumacher.
Yeah, that was. I think that was all part of everyone avoiding the Sainz Ricciardo incident. Schumacher ended up spinning into the side of
his back tyre caught it. I think it's like Schumacher's back tyre hit the bodywork of Alonso, and it proves how fragile that bodywork is.
Well, F1 cars always have been, because they're not designed to take a knock, and they want to be as light as possible, so they're not going to build it any thicker than they have to.
What are they? What did we say they were in kilograms? Did they say they were about...
Well, the whole car's about 800.
That's what I was going to say. Something like 800, 750, 800 plus kilograms.
Well, there is a minimum weight which only the Alfa Romeo actually meets at the moment, and everything else is
Yeah, because hence why you see people stripping paint off their cars. The Williams have done it. McLaren have done it. Yeah. Yeah, one of the teams only is one that meet the minimum weight. But yeah, then it was a shame because I reckon Alonso would have had a good race if you hadn't have been able to see his engine.
Yeah.
Because when they showed you that side shot, you could see the engine in there.
Oh, you can see far the exhaust, yeah. But obviously, he was losing that much downforce, and I think they were also more worried that air gets under it, starts ripping other parts off. They don't want a car going down the track shredded, throwing bits at other vehicles.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Because that could have been pretty nasty.
Yeah, well, think back to, was it Felipe Massa and Rubens Barrichello, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What happens when a car sheds apart and how badly it can go.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so, Ricciardo finished last. Mick Schumacher finished 17th. But I don't get what it is. It seems to be one of the teammates does well, bar Red Bull and Ferrari, shall we say. One of the teammates does well, the other really doesn't.
I think it's kind of showing just how balanced this field is this year. You know what I mean? We're not getting that, 2 cars, maybe a push 4 cars. Well, we kind of are, but at the same time, it's being levelled off by the fact that there seems to be the chances of mistakes are so much higher.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, it's Red Bull Ferrari this year are the two that are fighting for it, but
you've got the likes of McLaren can get up there, the Alpha.
The midfield in general, in fact, I would have said with the exception perhaps of the Williams.
Yeah.
There's not a lot between any of the others. It could be,
No.
It could as easily be a Haas or an Aston Martin could be the next car, or a McLaren, or none of them would seem out of place right now, which is fantastic for the fans.
Well, that's what I think they wanted to achieve. They did want to achieve the more balanced. They didn't want the whole one team dominance.
The only people who want that are either the people who work for that team or the fans of that team. The rest of the community is quite happy to see.
I don't mind. Like I said, I don't mind the balance. I don't mind the balance the way it is. But it's going to upset a lot of people. It kind of does make me a little bit happy that Mercedes aren't the dominant team.
Oh yeah, you're not the only one's happy about that.
The memes have already been going around about the blue flag Hamilton Verstappen.
So, do you reckon there was a nice little wave as Verstappen went past?
Yeah.
Hi.
Bye-bye.
What's it like back here?
Yeah. But Verstappen will know what it's like to just not drive a good car as well. He's worked, obviously, when he started out with Red Bull, he wasn't dominant. He wasn't the way he was.
Yeah.
He was a bit of a prick when he started, when he was a bit younger. I
kind of think the confidence you've got to have, they kind of have to be.
Yeah.
You kind of have to have that confidence that, what's the word I'm looking for? The arrogance is probably the best word.
Yeah, I suppose. But there are a couple of drivers. Oh, there's one particular driver that used to be arrogant, who mellowed. Lando's just Lando. Weirdly enough. I've never seen an arrogant side to Lando.
Not yet, we haven't.
No, not yet, we haven't, I was going to say.
But also, you've also got
Danny
Lando. Eyes of Lando, Russell, it's the younger generation as well. You've got a real age divide between the bottom line and the top level right now. You've got Hamilton, Danny Rick, who are all, back end of the career, it's got to be said. And then you got the young guys. Now, the young guys are coming from a different era. I mean, I'm sounding old here, but they're coming from the era who do the Twitch streaming, who the social media has been a big thing their entire career.
Well, there's a quartet, isn't there? It's Lando. Is it? Is it Lando, Albon, Leclerc, and somebody else? There's 4 of them. I know that they were known as the Twitch the Twitch.
I think Zhao did a bit, didn't he?
Oh yeah, but I mean, more of the people that were in F1 from like last year. It was more that. It was more them. But I mean, go and use your. I mean, I get he's a rookie and everything, but he's not doing too bad. There has been mistakes.
Well, he's learning.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, Yuki was the same. He
seems to be settling down more this season, which is quite nice to see.
And probably chilled out a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to make a prediction now, but I could see Latifi not possibly getting a contract renewal.
As you say, it's who they bring in instead.
Yeah. So who else we got? Ocon. Yeah. Don't know.
A few guys in the middle sort of had nowhere. I mean, Hamilton only makes press for his position because of who he is. I mean, Gasly, Albon, Stroll, apart from them basically being one long train for the entire race.
And Hamilton getting very pissed because he couldn't get him.
You've got to talk about Aston Martin's double points after the disasters he'd had running up to this.
Well, I won't exactly call it a disaster. It's the fact that you had fucking Hulkenberg driving and not Vettel. So
Australia, they had both drivers in, and that wasn't a weekend they're going to hang up as one of the favourites.
Well, no. But you've got to think Vettel's obviously just sort of still getting used to the car because he's not had he's not had a lot of track time because of his COVID. But yeah, I don't know. This time I don't know who's decided to shove a rocket up K-Mag's ass, but he's switched on.
Oh yeah.
He's very switched on and delivering. Clearly, another 2 points.
Yeah.
I mean, give it. Stroll got, Aston Martin some points, and obviously they took some points away. Did they take points in the sprint? Can't remember.
No, I don't. I think he was just outside, wasn't he? Don't forget, only the top 8 get points.
Yeah.
No, they finished 13th and 15th.
Okay.
So they're outside the points there, saying K-Mag took 1 point from the sprint.
Yeah.
And then a couple more points from the actual race.
Yeah. One second.
Go ahead.
That's why I had to sneeze. Sorry.
You will be.
Yeah, Alpha is 7th. Haas is 8th with 15 points.
Yeah.
Aston Martin's 9th. And with 5. Aston Martin's 9th with 5 points. That is annoying. You had to. Wish my computer would disable Windows sounds when I'm doing stuff like that, so I apologise about that, because that will have gone through.
Everyone's at home now thinking, what USB device just unplugged?
No, it was actually a Windows notification for a Java update.
God.
Bloody Minecraft. Yeah, so, as we said, there was that DRS train, and he was getting frustrated. But the thing I don't understand was why was Toto apologising to Hamilton?
I guess. Now, we still don't know what was said, but I'm sure you saw those shots from, was it during qualifying? Of what looked to be a rather heated... I wonder if Hamilton's getting a little frustrated with what's going on and Toto's just trying to keep the peace. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to conclusion now, and it's going to be Russell's year, and he's
Oh, yeah.
going to be second driver because he's going to have to.
Yeah. He's not going to like it because he's used to being dominant force. I think this is what it's boiling down to, is the fact that that car, they are both in equal... This is the thing. They are both in the same exact car this year.
Oh, yeah.
It's the fact
have you not seen the Hamilton fans on Twitter? Apparently his car's carrying extra sensors, which is making it heavier.
Fuck off.
Tell me about it.
Fucking wankers.
Tell me about it.
Get bent.
Tell me about it. Well, that's what the Hamilton fan base is trying to...
No, get bent, you bunch of pricks. They're both in the exact same car. Hamilton just cannot get his head round this car. He can't physically drive it. Because he can't... Because of the porpoising issues, because of everything that's going wrong for Mercedes, he's putting it on him. And thinking, oh, you know, he's now spitting his dummy out. And he cannot hack the fact that he has gone from being the dominant team...
He's basically gone from being the dominant guy in F1 to not even the dominant guy in his own team.
Yeah. He can't handle it mentally, I think. I think he's losing it, to be honest. Because even... Did you watch any of the pen? The pen stuff afterwards?
No, I didn't.
Oh. He admitted he's not wanting to go for the championship.
I think he's not wanting. I think he's just realising it's not going to happen for him.
Yeah.
To be honest, even though mathematically it's possible, it'd be a tall order from here.
Oh, yeah. That car will have to be something fucking special for him to be able to do it. But yeah, I'm wondering if... Personally, if I was any other F1 team boss, this is going to sound wrong, and I'm probably going to get hated for this. I wouldn't take him. If he wanted to team swap, I wouldn't take him.
The only place he would try and go, and this is from... I think the only place he would try and go would be Ferrari. But Ferrari, especially now they've signed this 2-year for signs, basically proves there isn't a place for him there.
Yeah.
He wouldn't go backwards, and as you say, Red Bull would have him because there's no way they'd have him and Max in the same team.
No, that wouldn't work.
So, no, he's at the point where if he leaves, he leaves. He'll go and mess about, because he's been messing about with either that electric Dakar thing, or he'll be referee for Chelsea Football Club or something.
Oh, is that the thing to do with him buying into Chelsea, even though he doesn't support Chelsea?
Yeah, apparently consortium, Serena Williams and a few others, aren't they, or something like that, are looking at tailing a bid together for Chelsea Football Club.
What's the fucking point? I know they're doing it to save the club and get it out of the get it away from the Russians. That's what that's about. But
I know. I don't
it's
know.
It's a business thing for him at the end of the day. That's what that's about. It's a business thing for him.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, everything's a business thing, isn't it? Let's be honest. I think if the guy walked away from everything now, I think he'd either be all right or he'd be able to pick up enough little sponsorship deals here and there. Keep sticking number 44 on cans of Monster.
I'll go try his hand at MotoGP. He can ride a bike, so why not?
If you ride when you can ride it at MotoGP level, it's a very different.
Well, yeah. I mean, Ross, obviously Valentino Rossi's not there anymore, but, But yeah, no, he just looks very defeated, and I think he's now sort of come to realise that he is getting outshone by Russell. Yeah. And as we said earlier on, Russell was in a shitbox.
Yeah, Russell's done it. Russell's been there. He's done his time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got a podium out of that Williams.
Spa. Was it Spa?
Yeah.
Yeah, Spa.
I know.
Yeah.
I understand the controversy that statement brings, but it is down on the chase as a podium.
Oh, Kevin, it's not much more fucking controversial than Abu Dhabi.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, it wasn't. But, no. I think he's just realised that he's getting outshone. And he's just not liking that, because the limelight's not all on him, to be honest. That's the way I feel about it. The Mercedes is in an absolute shitbox right now, and that is why Russell is driving the ass off it. He's proven he can drive it. And then, Stroll and Vettel. I mean, Stroll's just fucking Stroll. Another fucking Canadian,
Yeah.
No offense to Canadians, but, he's just, I don't know. He seems a bit lackluster. AlphaTauri, as we know, didn't have the best race. Alfa Romeo, on the other hand, like we say, bar Red Bull and Ferrari, it seems to be one car performing, or in Red Bull's case, two cars performing. Would have been two Ferraris if Sainz hadn't have had his little incident. One McLaren performing, one not. One Mercedes performing, one not. One Alfa Romeo performing, one not.
I think with Alpha, I think most of that is probably just Bottas's experience at this point.
Yeah.
Zhao is still very new to this.
Oh yeah.
He's actually the only rookie this year, officially.
Well, yeah, because Albon's not. Albon wouldn't be classed as it.
No, Albon's not. Although technically he would be, because you remember, was it the other year when Alonso won the young driver today? on his first year back, because technically he qualified for it.
Yeah, won the young driver test.
But yeah, Zhao is technically the only rookie this year.
Yeah.
So, don't expect him to be at it on top of.
I'm not expecting him to be on top, because as he even knows, going from F2 to F3, F2 to F3, I think he was in F3 to F2 and then F2 to F1, very different animals.
Oh yeah.
A lot more horsepower in them.
Oh yeah.
A hell of a lot more horsepower. And
but Bottas's experience is just shining at the moment. The Alpha's a fairly good package. It's not a bad car.
Ferrari engine.
Same with the Haas, isn't it? And look where they are right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ferrari, I think, did the same trick where they basically didn't do a lot last year, but everything got put into this year's car. And then there it was. I mean, I've said it for years. We were going to see Ferrari back at the top eventually because there was no other option.
Oh, yeah.
Now.
But Red Bull have seemed to sort themselves out a little bit.
Oh. Well, the car survived Imola, didn't they? So let's see how.
In terms of Max's car. I still disagree with this free engine rule for the season.
I don't. You see, because that didn't make
Should have
them
given.
work for it.
Yeah, but if they increased the gearbox, they should have given 4. They increased the
Maybe.
gearbox, they should have given 4 engines for the pool.
I'd say go the other way. You got 1 engine for a year. And maybe have a dispensation at that point that if you have a major accident, you can have 1 free. Because obviously it's not reliability if the car gets smashed really hard and the engine is in pieces.
Well, that's true. Yeah, but it wasn't that. It was the fuel that caused the reliability.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking a more in general thing here.
Yeah, but if... Well, how many do they... Right, I know this is a completely different subject. Touring cars. How many engines do they get?
I don't... however many you can afford to buy, basically.
Right, so they don't cap it then.
To be fair, most of the teams will run the same engine all year.
Yeah, that's kind of probably a little bit different.
It's a different, yeah.
Different engine.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's no like set limit. It depends, but don't forget to be honest, a lot of the touring cars are running a lot of the time engines that can be 2 or 3 years old because a lot of them are hobby racers.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
They haven't got the money that F1 has. They can't afford to go and right, I'll have 10 engines for a season. You know, which is quite funny when you think of how touring car drivers drive. That yeah, don't forget you're paying for it, mate, and they just don't seem to worry about it at that moment.
Well, yeah.
The first race of this season, we had 2 BMWs, their teammates going all the way down the hill at Donington, bashing doors.
Fucking hell.
Which must have been giving the manager of West Surrey Racing several heart attacks all at once.
Oh, that must have been, it was a bit like Jeddah, wasn't it? With the 2 Alpines.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Oh, it's happened before. It's happened in a few, but yeah, it was 2 teammate BMWs. They're going down the hill, but he bashing door handles. It's like fucking hell. Careful, lads! Don't forget you've got to share a bus home tonight.
But yeah, like we say, going back to F1 before we go off course. Too
no
much.
pun intended.
You know, like we say, Russell and everybody they just seem to perform because of the conditions, but because of some of them have pretty good experience within them conditions. You know, like they were saying that they had, you know, okay, they had the simulated test of wet conditions. Where was it? Where was the testing? Wasn't Bahrain, it was the other test. It was the early test. Was it Barcelona?
Yes, usually it's there.
You know, they had that early test where they had the Bowsers going round on track with the water to simulate wet running. But it wasn't enough. So this is why when it came to like Imola and you saw what you did, this is why it was a bit shaky for some people.
Yeah.
And especially shaky for Leclerc as well. He did well to keep that out of the wall. As much.
Definitely.
You know, to cause as little impact. He could have just basically... I reckon if he'd have knocked his wheel off, that would have been red flag, and I think that would have been race over and classification called.
Possible. Well, no, you'd probably got yellows. I think if they'd have red flagged at that point, they'd have gone again because they weren't close enough to the end yet. Cause what were they, about 7 or 8 laps out?
Yeah, but it was over the distance of the race to be able to classify it.
Yeah, but the reason the qualifying didn't resume was because when the last red flag went in, they had 38 seconds left.
Yeah, I know, but it depends if they might have restarted it if they'd have red flagged it, but we wouldn't know because it didn't happen.
No, luckily he kept it going, managed to get it back out the wall, and
I'm
actually not sure if he even needed the front wing change. Really, that's more precaution than anything else.
I think they just didn't, in case they had done damage. I don't think they wanted bits either going into the tyre or something flying off and going to somebody else,
or something hanging loose to the point where they get flagged for it.
But one point I will make before we do finish as well. Yeah. What took the race director? I know we've done this in a bit of a weird order. What took the race director so long to enable TRS?
I'm guessing it was to do with track dryness. That's all I can put it down to is, excuse me. Because the trouble is, it's alright, because the track dried, but it very much dried online. So the second you went offline...
Yeah, but the thing was, the race director surely must have been able to see as well that cars were hunting for a wet line to keep their tyres as well. They were hunting for this wet line to keep their tyres cool. But yeah, it just taken them so long to get even like the commentary was saying, you know, why is they not enabled DRS yet? And it's just taking so long. I mean, honestly, I was kind of expecting a race. If it hadn't gone to soft, it would have been one of them races with no DRS.
Oh yeah.
And another kind of funny comment I'll make here is, what have you done with Max Verstappen? He actually said, "Don't forget about me, please." Or box me, you know, he actually said please over the radio. I was like, okay, what have you done with Max Verstappen? I mean, once Leclerc had spun and Max had the distance, I was thinking to myself, when Leclerc spun, I was thinking, don't you fucking do it. Don't you dare bring a safety car out.
At least we got to see the Aston Martin again.
Yeah, that sounded nice.
It was the Aston, yeah. It was the Aston this weekend.
Yeah, there was a couple of moments where you did hear the Astons grumble. It was just like, yeah, nice. Do you think it'd be the Aston? Do you think it'd be the Aston for America, or do you think it'd be the Mercedes?
Or do you reckon they'll go all out and it'll be a big pickup truck?
That would be funny as hell.
Yeah, got poor Burn trying to wheel a Dodge Ram round or something.
That would be fucking hilarious. Or
Corvette or something like that.
Yeah, get the NASCAR either the NASCAR pace car or the IndyCar pace car. Get the Corvette.
It more likely be the Merc. I don't think F1 really allow doing that because the safety cars are part of. But it would just be an interesting.
Oh, it'd be one of theirs, but yeah, imagine they did something. Imagine what I would like to have seen, which they haven't done. They haven't done the Aston doing a drag race.
Yeah, I don't think it's not so because. Is it because the safety car always does a I think both cars do get a few laps over the weekend just to learn the track and that
Yeah, they do.
But I mean, say still the onboard video of Jeddah last year, that Aston is one of the best pieces of video.
But the Merc and the medical car dragging off against each other.
They've only done that once. I think it was more just a show-off thing. You never know, they might try and do it at Silverstone or somewhere. If they've got the Astons at Silverstone for their home race, they might just do something there with them.
Yeah. But I would like to see the two medical cars go off against each other and the two safety cars go off against each other. Just in a drag race.
And after that, we then need all 20 drivers on scooters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, we know Vettel would win it, but...
Well, yeah. I think he got fined over that, you know.
Which is stupid, because the fans will have loved it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But, yeah, that's the FIA for you sometimes.
But, okay, the fine would be more, I reckon, because his helmet was off above his head.
Still, it's you. That could be one of the things. They could have gone to him after and said, that was bad, don't do it again, slap on the wrist, to do a fine and all that. It's like I said, the fans will love seeing him going round.
Yeah. The session had ended, there was no cars.
Yeah, and he was just getting back to the pits.
He was getting back to the pits. The guy just recovered from COVID, so I imagine he wouldn't want to be near another human being. So he took the scooter on himself.
Yeah.
That's why he was on the scooter on his own.
Yeah.
Which is a fair point. You know, the guy just recovered from COVID, so why couldn't he have just taken the scooter himself? Yes, it was on the track. Technically, it's a racetrack, but technically, it's a public road.
Plus, it wasn't a as you say, there was no race cars on the track at
No.
the time. It was closed circuit.
Yeah, the session had stopped. So,
But yeah,
I don't know. The FIA have just been absolute twats this year.
yeah.
They've just been so bizarre and so boggling this year.
Mm.
I get the red flags for some of the incidents, but for the likes of the K-Mag, was a bit too quick.
I think it's just because if he hadn't got it going, they'd have had a yellow flag point for a good 5-6 minutes while they got the car out of there, and they'd left no time in qualifying for anybody to do the lap. Because by the time they got it cleared, there'd been not a lot of time left on the clock.
What I also think it is, though, that it's actually causing the red flags as well. I think the sensors are the hit sensors are too sensitive. Too sensitive. Because
triggering too fast.
Yeah, the triggering to basically say he's impacted or something like that when he actually hadn't. I'd noticed that there's a couple of times where apart from them being, I get if they get beached, but sometimes there was, I can't remember which, it was one of the tracks this year, the red flag was from very, very quickly for something pretty minor.
Yeah.
I get the, the whole debris on track, punches and all that lot. I get that. But it could have been done under a safety car or something like that, even in practice or whatever. But no, the red flags are being used very excessively this year. Don't get me wrong, I understand the whole safety point, but it is getting a bit much.
Yeah.
Some of the street circuits I get for the red flag because of the accessibility. Marshals have to go out on the track. The access points are very different. I mean, I imagine we are going to see some red flags at Monaco. Because of what Monaco is. But don't Monaco have them big cranes?
Yeah, but you've still got to crash right underneath one.
Well, that's very true, yeah. And how many red flags will we see at Miami? Overall,
I'm going to reserve any judgment till I actually see the track layout because I've seen like a drawing of it, but to see, because I mean, I'm trying to get my head around a race in a car park anyway, and of course we don't really have big car parks in this country, so I'm struggling to. The only way I can picture is in a multi-story, which that'd be interesting, but
that would be. There'd been not enough steering lock on an F1 car to get it round.
Well, there is. It's called back axle. Yeah, can you imagine one round Kendall multi-story down to the bottom and back up to the top?
Yeah. I think even the Merc could struggle that.
I think my car would have difficulties with it in places. But yes, I'm reserving a lot. I was going to mention to you at that point now thoughts from Miami, but to be honest with you, I haven't got a lot of thoughts. I don't really know what we're going into yet.
No, I don't. Like I said, go on.
I say my only concern is, judging by what I saw on Twitter of Paint, we're not going to have a repeat of Paul Ricard. Friggin' rainbow nightmares.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, the venue where it is, if you actually look at the venue on Google Maps from the satellite, you can see how big that the car park area is.
Yeah, I've no doubt.
It's a big area.
The track's going to have to be over a mile long, or else we'll be doing a freaking 200-lap race. I've no doubt they've got the space, but I have yet, until I see cars going round it, I have not got a lot of reference points.
No.
What to expect of it?
Was it 6? I don't even know how many laps it said.
I'm just trying to look that up now.
I think it's going to be 60 odd. At least 60 odd. I mean,
57 laps.
really? Okay.
Tin of beans.
So that's... How many laps did we have at Imola?
63.
Hmm.
5.41 kilometres, so you'll have to convert that into actual measurements. 19 corners.
What did you say?
5.41 kilometres.
One second, guys.
It's going to be... That sounds long.
Oh, hang on 1 second. Kilometre to...
3.3 miles. I was going to say just over 3 miles.
What was it?
3.3 miles.
Yeah, but what did you say in kilometre?
5.41.
Yeah. It's about fucking walking from here to less than just walking into town.
Yeah.
It's quite short. Is it going to be quick though? That's the thing. Is it going to be a quick one? I've not seen any real.
That's it. None of us, like I say, I'm looking at the track map here, and there's a very long back straight. There's almost a China-esque long back straight into a hairpin.
Ooh.
If you were on the F1 site before, if you just bring up
Yeah.
Miami on the schedule, you can get into it. That's what I'm looking at.
1 second.
Potential for 3 DRS zones.
Depends if it gets cut or not.
In fact, it's not just because
There's only one.
Elevation changes, the main one between turn 16 where the track heading over an exit ramp and under various flyovers.
So they'll be using some of the existing infrastructure around the arena. I'm guessing.
Certainly sounds like it, which that fills me with a little more confidence than just racing around a car park.
Okay, there's gonna be even to race this 57 laps. This is gonna be an interesting. Even if we get this in game, there's gonna be a couple of corners which I can see really causing an issue. Turn 11 to 17 and 30, 11 through to 13, 14 and 15 little like chicane.
Well, hang on. 11 through to 16, does that not just remind you of the end of Kota?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So it could be that could be quite a wide speed.
Yeah. And then you've got 4 to 7, which kind of looks like the S-bends that always screw us up in Kota.
Or Japan. Or Silverstone, in fact. They're the kind of Silverstone-y type.
I'm looking at the stadium on Google Earth here just to give myself an idea.
It is what it is. But what would you say are you going to predict your top 3?
I mean, you're gonna turn around and say 2 Red Bulls and a Ferrari, aren't you?
Who?
That's the obvious choice at the moment.
What? Yeah, but this is your prediction. This is you personally.
Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez. I think.
See, I kind of want to. I'm going to go Verstappen, Perez. I'm going to go Norris.
So a repeat of this weekend.
Yeah. I'm going to go this weekend.
I mean, personally, I'd like to see Sainz, the top Ferrari, just because it would reset some of the shit he's done. But that's what I'd like to see, not what I'm expecting.
Yeah, we don't know. Like I say, we don't know what's going to happen with this. And obviously, you guys won't know our thoughts about this until, well, it'll be the 9th of May. We record the next episode, and then it should be the Friday, or depends how long gap have we got between races.
I think it's another at least 2 weeks.
20th of May is the next one.
Yeah, because this is where I've
Back
said it
to
before.
Spain.
I don't really get why Miami's ended up where it is, because to stick Miami between Italy and Spain.
Yeah, we've had no announcement yet for what's replacing.
I don't think that's such. I think they're focusing on what's going on at the moment.
Yeah, seems like we've had no announcement of what's replacing Sochi.
If they do, they might end up leaving it blank. You never know.
Well, they were on about the whole double Singapore.
Yeah.
Which.
Oh, you got the likes of Turkey's always ready to host.
Or will they just push it back and maybe do either double summit in Mexico? No, they can't, because it's that close to each other. They need a gap, don't they?
Have we got any circuits in Ukraine?
Be too much for danger. You got Qatar. But yeah, the latest rumour mill was them talking about a double at Singapore.
Not the greatest circuit, but we'd take racing at the end of the day.
Yeah, that'll be another shit one, and that'll be another early.
Yeah.
Is it Singapore or is it Japan? One of them is the early again.
I think they're both that way, aren't they? Because obviously you're back over that side of the world again.
Yeah. So, we are going to end this podcast here. Sorry, it was a bit all over the place.
Well, if you listen to more than one of these, you know that's the way we normally operate anyway. So.
Yeah. Maybe for the 2023 season, we may have a new name. We might not. But if you want to suggest a new name, you can't actually. There's one thing you can't use, and something like pit stop something.
I think what it's named as, I think works. It says exactly what it is.
Well, yeah, but obviously we have to be careful because it's not the official F1 podcast.
No.
I wish.
We'll just call it the GametimeUK F1 podcast. Then.
Nah. Well, we could do, but I'll just keep it as the F1 podcast till
for me.
What it is.
It works for you until you've got Jean Todt knocking on your door one day.
It won't be Jean Todt though, will it? Be fucking
Ben.
It'd be Ben
knocking on your door with a suitcase to beat you around the head with.
I think I'd grab the suitcase and beat him around the head, personally. But yeah. Joking aside.
So anyway, you said your prediction. You said 2 Red Bulls and Norris.
Yeah, I did. I did Imola. Repeat.
Yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see.
We'll find out this same time, same place.
So yeah, thank you for joining us. We will say that hopefully Alan is back joining us for the Miami podcast. Yep. Hopefully. Depends on his schedule at the moment. But we shall see. So yeah, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitch. Don't forget to comment down below your predictions for Miami and what you're looking forward to seeing.
Yeah.
So until then.
So long, folks.
Goodbye for now.